Hello and welcome. Today we'll be riding through beautiful Evergreen, Colorado. Evergreen is a small mountain town just west of Denver, and it sits at about 7,000 feet in elevation, so the heart rates are a little bit higher than normal. And our climb is only about 1,000 feet, but because we're fighting the wind and working by ourselves, this is a tough solo training ride. You'll see historic downtown Evergreen, Colorado, and we'll be cruising up through Hiwan hills and basically along the main highway. And just up ahead here, there's a real nice trail access into the meadows, and there's some excellent single track out west that way. And then we'll be passing the highway that takes us to Mount Evans, which is also the route for the triple bypass. I hope you enjoyed today's ride. It's only 45 minutes, but you'll be working. Thank you very much, and have a great workout.
Welcome, my fellow masochists. Do what it says. Start cranking. Get into a big gear. About a 42.7 or 8. And just start driving. Welcome to laying down the hammer. Call you a masochist because this ride ain't easy. If you're not warmed up, you might want to pause this and warm up. Get your legs a little bit warmer because we gotta just jam right off the start. Immediately bringing your heart up to 80% or close thereabouts. And we're going to sync the video with the audio. We're looking at the entry credits. The last line is disappearing now. Okay. Let's get this puppy rolling. Should be in a fairly big gear. Coming down to easier and upping their cadence. Around 90, 95. 80 is, or heart rate's at about 80%. We're driving up our speed here. This road is crazy. Narrow. People fly down it 50 miles an hour, opposed to 35. We're going 45. Watching these corners, keeping up our speed. Now, you may hear the free wheel coasting. I like to pedal through the start and keep up the cadence nice and high, around 90, 95. Because we want to keep the heart rate positive. We don't want to drop down to below aerobic levels. Gotta keep the legs warm, keep the legs moving. Because as this ride develops, it gets harder. Picking up some speed here, putting on laying down the hammer. That truck that almost hit us, we're going to catch up to him. Cooking, doing about a little over 40 miles an hour. And here, not going to have much of a chance but to slow down. As we get pulled on the truck's a draft. The wind is buffeting all around us. This is a big truck. Sometimes at the higher speeds, the wind buffets so hard it feels like it can knock you over from your side. So we can slow up just a bit here, keep it in your easy gear, but let's keep pedaling. Let the heart rate come down a little bit. Again, we're in our aerobic zone. Let's not drop it below 70% though. Let's keep it at 70 plus. I'm at about 75, coming down, slowing. Keeping some positive resistance on our legs as the truck is starting to pull away from us. Don't want to stay behind them. We got cars behind us. We want to stay in front of them too. Alright, and then stoplight here. Let's scoot around. Once we hit this light, I think there'll be a message telling us we gotta go. Yeah. We're gonna be in front of traffic. Traffic that likes to go 35, 40 on this final stretch into town. But we don't want anybody passing us, so come on, pop it into a big gear. And you're sprinting off the front start here. So I want you sprinting in that 942 or bigger. Just drive up that cadence. Pedal hard. 105 RPMs. Catching up to a car. Looking behind us. Traffic is not a factor. But we're still putting some positive pressure on the pedals, working to keep the pedals going around. Should be just right around 90% of max here. Slow it up. We're in downtown Evergreen. Soft pedal a bit. Take a drink of water. And downtown, some nice gift shops to your left, Bojo's Pizza to your right, to your left. Coming up is a famous Little Bear Saloon. Still trying to stay fairly brisk. We're in 25. We're going roughly the speed limit. There's no cars behind us. The old Pac Bell building to the left. Okay. Don't let the legs rest too much. Let's pop up our speed here. Pedal a little faster. Keeping the heart rate up. We're taking Nick in the left here, and we're hit with a decent hill, as you can see. Lots of high gears, low grinds, lower cadences. We'll be using some bigger muscles on the climb. We are training our quick twitch on the way down, and now we're going to train our big muscles, quads, butt. So let's get into a bigger gear, big ring up front, keeping the heart rate up. It gets pretty steep here. Staying in the saddle still, working the quads. Should be putting lots of positive pressure through your feet or mashing. Watch your cadence. It should be sub 80. Keep the heart rate pegged at red zone, right around 90%. These efforts don't end, so prepare yourself mentally for the next 40 minutes to keep these efforts up. And short breaks on the quick downhill sections. You're in your climbing gear, and I like big heavy gears, especially for these videos, so you don't normally get a chance to work those big muscles on a stationary bike. So let's just grind it up to the top. Do what you need to do with your cadence to keep your heart rate right at 90. $60 or more, you're doing great. 60 RPMs. I'm at about 65. If your trainer has variable resistance and you feel like your cadence is too high or too low, adjust your variable resistance on your trainer. Now I'm right about 60 RPM. My heart rate a little higher than I want it to be, but right around 90, and you're doing great. In anaerobic 1, the tour of Evergreen, we come down this hill and you can get an idea how steep it is. Okay, out of your saddle. Just smooth, steady strokes, keeping your cadence in the mid-50s. Don't try and sprint up the hill. Keep the pressure on. Keep your heart rate up. You see our horrible speed, 6 miles an hour, steep hill. Work this hill out. Get around the truck. It's noisy as hell. Very few of those people see spandex in their drawers. You're one of the few diehards willing to take this kind of ride on an indoor bike. And we're out of the saddle again. Let's grind up this short section. Grinding a little harder. We want to get over the top of this thing. And back down in the saddle. Still plenty steep a hill. We're almost up it. The hardest part of this ride, in my opinion, is this first stretch. Back out of the saddle. Come on. Pump it. In your biggest gear. Keep the weight off your hands. Put all your weight through your legs, your hips. Your legs should really feel it. Drop it down, sit. Grind. When we stand, we're compensating for lack of leg strength. And we're sacrificing our heart. So our heart will jet up. So let's keep playing with it. Out of the saddle. Get up this hill, sprint up to the top, and back down again. We got a little downhill here. Rest up. Soft pedal, but pedal. No coasting. The legs should move pretty much through the whole ride. About the sniffles. 95% of max does that to me. And we're descending down to the main highway. We'll have another climb as soon as we get to the intersection. So get ready. We'll be using the big gears again, a big ring up front. And when we pull off this highway, we're going to go right out of the saddle again and climb hard to the top of this next section. So you should be in your big gear. Get used to the resistance and slowly click to higher gear. And there's our first. Watch that gear ratio. There's your next one. This hill gets progressively steeper as we get to the summit. Pace ourselves to the top. And cadence is over 75. Probably a little too easy here. Steeper. Cadence should fall. Heart is struggling and out of the saddle. Legs are weak. Let's get up to the top of this thing. Nice, controlled pedal strokes. Should be a comfortable but hard effort. We're into the red zone easily here. Shouldn't say easy. Climbing into those clouds. Keep those legs moving. Keep pumping. Driving to the top of this steep little climb. Sit. And slowly taking off resistance as we crest this hill. Sorry, I don't have the energy to catch him. Soft pedal for a minute or so. Down to the bottom of this hill. And we'll face another one just like it. Again, once you're pedaling, even if you're here in the freewheel, just headed out the sound of the freewheel. Slow pedal. Let's recover back to low anaerobic, 80%. If you're higher than that, oh well. Here comes the next climb. Let's go. Right about here, shift both left and right gears if you're STI. So you're dropping the back one into easier, putting the front one into a harder gear. And then slowly, we're increasing our resistance as we get higher on this hill. Cadence should be right around 75 to 80. If you're actually climbing your best cadence, you'll have to figure that out, but for many it's around 80. And you just keep dropping your gears until you can keep that. But at some point, the hill gets too steep. And you run out of gears and you're cranking for your life. For the sake of this, we're mashing all of our climbs to the top, working big gears, keeping the pressure on our legs, building our muscles in our quads, butt and calves. And out of the saddle, let's go. Crank hard. We want to tear up those legs with low or slow cadences, high efforts. Break down those muscles. By the time we're done with this, climbing stairs should be hard. So come on. Hammer it out. Back in the saddle. Slowly take off resistance as we get over the top of this one. And slowly or softly pedal down to the bottom of this hill. Soft pedal, no coasting. Watch your heart rate come down. No high cadences here. We gotta rest up our legs if we want them to go back up to those levels of effort where we're actually building muscle. Can't have built or growth without recovery. So we should be resting down at 80%. Once we get past the stoplight, we got another climb. By the time we cross that light, target heart rate should be about 80%. So pedal slow, let them recover, don't stop pedaling. Take a drink of water, get ready for some more work. And let's get our gear back up there. Add some resistance. Get ready to put in your big ring right there. Just like before, climbing and adding resistance slowly. This hill gets steeper quicker. So we're all the way at our highest resistance. We're out of the saddle. Let's just grind up this last hill. It's not our last hill, I'm sorry. Just grind up it. Don't try to sprint. I don't want to see huge cadences. Should be right around 60, 50 to 60. Trying to build our strength. Just like resistance training, when you go to the gym, lift weights, it's the same methodology. Work hard, high resistance, blow yourself up, and then rest. These workouts will help improve your sprints. They'll improve your flats. You're racing in a peloton on flat roads. Trying to cover attacks, trying to stay on a wheel. You need to work through the pain, and your legs have to have the strength to cover it. And let's go back down. Soft pedal down to the light. Let's just keep our heart rate on target. Soft pedal. Please don't forget to drink. And we got one more big climb. This is the longest one. So let's get into a bigger gear. And get ready for your big ring up front. Up your resistance. Should be around 74, 75, 80 RPM. As we steadily up our heart rate. We're going to stay in the saddle for this whole climb. Working on our quads and our glutes right here. Up your cadence if you need to match the heart rate. .75 RPM, 80, 70, depends on how much you got left here. Everybody has a different trainer. Everybody has different resistance on the trainer. But just trying to give you a target to shoot for. Not trying to prove any points. Now, if I told you I was climbing this 20 miles an hour, that'd be a different story. I'm not. Off to our left there is all that single track. Gorgeous field. Climbs up into those hills. Sorry, I'm out of breath. Off to our right is Hiwan. Very upper end subdivision. Real pretty place. Keep the pressure on the legs. Trying to fatigue them here. This is the main highway out to Interstate 70 from Evergreen. It obviously will pass through Bergen and then past the famous El Rancho restaurant. And if you want, if you're riding this all the way through to 70, you can actually get on I-70 for a stretch and then take the next highway exit and follow the frontage road all the way into Golden. That stretch of I-70 was actually shot in American Flyers, the old Kevin Costner movie. They weren't riding on it. Should have been. It's a fun descent into Denver. Once you get off the interstate. It speeds up to 60 in some cases. The high altitudes here cut down on that wind resistance. Same reason they hit so many balls out of the park, the Rocky Stadium. You get some crazy speeds on the descents with the thin air. Still trucking up the hill. Positive pressure on the legs, keeping your cadence in the mid-70s. It's a little steeper here, but you can see the summit at the top of this climb. Just ahead. Have a little break. Almost up. And drop it down. Get your cadence up a bit. Rest up a smidge. Rest your legs, but not your heart. Keeping the cadence high enough so our heart rate is holding steady. And right about here, we're going to actually start to rest. Keep the legs moving. We're not stopping. Just do what you need to do to your cadence to meet that heart rate. We're going to start a slow recovery to the finish here. So you can actually walk off the bike. Let's recover our heart rate. Left here and you're in for a real treat. Some of the most beautiful views on this road as you're climbing up the pass. You descend down in Idaho Springs. That's a great fun descent. Fast, windy. And then Idaho Springs, awesome place to stop for a few hours. If you want to take a break, grab a bite, and head back over the pass the other way. climb about 8,000 feet round trip. And it's very rewarding and really pretty. Keeping the heart up, a little higher cadence than before. As we work out the lactic acid so we can sleep tonight. Quick right turn. We got a little climb here, light. And then our ride is over. So let's make this a good one. Quick little sprint to the top. You can lay down the hammer here. Get your heart rate back up. Let's end this with a bang, guys. Let's go. And bring it down. Let's recover. This is where the ride ends. There is a fantastic Indian restaurant this mall. And let's soft pedal through the crowd of people, because that's what we're really doing. Alright, guys, hope you guys had a great workout. I had a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to joining you at the next ride. Keep up the great work and keep on keeping on. This is Bitbox signing out.